Hello. Good evening. Really good evening for me because I'm on the East Coast and this motherfucker at 10 o'clock. Anyway, hi, I am Crescent. Welcome to the Madness Collective. My co-host is Antoine. Here he is. Put his
So,
Wu-Tang on. Hey, what's up? What's up?
yeah,
And our
again, I think I wore this on Monday.
it's okay. Our guest co-host.
Hello. I think I wore this on Monday too. I don't
Okay,
know.
welcome back.
Nigga,
So
you got some long ass fingers.
Take
You got
it easy
you
over there.
you got some Arsenio Halls right there,
I
nigga.
love it. I love it. That's a sign of intelligence right there. That's what that is.
That's a sign for something. What was a rap song? Doing all kind of twisted shit with your fingers.
Karen's in the chat. What's up, Karen? So hey,
Hi, Karen.
hey. If you are tuning in
Hey.
for the first time, we are the Madness Collective, and we do our best to, we go deep into the headlines, so you don't have to. So you're welcome. All right, tonight. So definitely talking about the State of the Union because y'all motherfuckers been texting me about it since last night. So okay. But before we talk about the State of the Union, we're going to mention an unusual charity fundraising event that's in Oklahoma. Also, there's a PSA for Miami Beach for anyone thinking of coming there for spring break. There's a message for you. Regarding the State of the Union, overall supporters of Biden said it was a resounding success, whereas the haters, aka the GOP, said otherwise because, of course, they did. Speaking of the GOP, the woman who did their response was a junior senator from Alabama, Katie Britt. Sorry. She got clowned by the Dems and the Republicans. That was hilarious. Trump's response was juvenile. And also, he had a better day today. He had a meeting with Hungary's autocrat Viktor Orban. And he had to post nearly $92 million bond in his sexual assault case. So, yay, President Trump. Also, Oscars are this Sunday. So, all that and hopefully that much. That's it. Tonight on the Madness Collective. I'm so tired.
Don't be
Hi,
tired.
y'all.
Don't be tired.
I'm in Indiana. Hi, yes, happy Friday. What's up? What's up? Love when Melissa in the chat. Hey, Ernest. Yes, Biden squashed the Republicans last night. He sure did. Yes, she is a Stepford housewife of Alabama. But before we get to that, how not to fundraise, or maybe how to fundraise. I don't know. It depends on how you feel about feet. So,
Jesus.
Okay, so headline. Some ridicule Deer Creek students for licking toes for charity. Others praise them. Now, I will tell y'all, before I put this on the show flow, all I saw was the headline. I was like, that's disgusting, ill, gross, ill. I'm still there, but because some right wingers and Republican people went ballistic, I was like, well, I can't be in agreement with Ted Cruz. So let me kind of redirect how I feel about it. I still don't like it, but I ain't gonna talk shit about it like they did to let you know what happened. So yeah, fundraising event. The kids do this every year. Not necessarily the toe licking, but something. And just to be clear, they're raising money for this coffee shop called Not Your Average Joe. And the coffee shop hires, it's a nonprofit. They hire workers with disabilities, which is great, which is super awesome. And this year they raised over $150,000 million. So part of what it was you lick chocolate, peanut butter, and other condiments off feet and armpits. The armpits was in another article, y'all, from your classmates. Yeah. And this has been happening actually the last couple years. Whew, Jesus. Republicans went ballistic. Ted Cruz called it child abuse. I'm not gonna go that far, but it is gross, especially post COVID. Like, Jesus.
I'm gonna try and play it. I'm
Fox
gonna try and play
David
it.
Chazanov has reaction from the district and its parents tonight. David,
image.
what are you hearing?
It's not showing it. Okay.
No.
Adam and Wendy,
Okay,
a
we're
parent
not
whose
gonna be able to
child
do
attended
it.
the
Let me
event
pause
calls
it.
it
Give me a sec.
deeply disturbing, and we do want to warn you the video you
Deeply disturbing is
Let me go
accurate.
Yeah.
So
Is it though?
Can't do shit. Can't do shit.
hey, if you're watching, we getting a new platform soon. Okay, so just we know it's not great.
Yeah.
Okay, just trust me. Jason, hold that thought. Actually, no. Go ahead. What are you gonna say, Jason?
No. I didn't have an extension to that. I was just thinking, the kids, they made it up. I find it hard to believe that the school assigned them to do this. They were like, what can we do that will get attention, that will raise this money? And they raised money.
Well, they've been doing it though, so I don't think it's always toe licking.
But it's always something rude and crude or weird because that's their thing.
Yeah.
I bet you it's white kids.
I think so too, but you know what?
I'll tell you what. Let me hear. I'm not GOP, and I don't kink shame. Let me hear that somebody got one of my fucking daughters licking toes, bro.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely the fuck not. Go ahead, Antoine. Sorry.
This just doesn't. I don't understand how things like this get pushed through the pipeline without somebody saying, "Yeah, that's not gonna happen," or "I'm calling the cops," or "I will slap the shit out of you." Because I don't know if y'all know this. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like in terms of sexual fetishes, feet are in the top 3. It's like it's spanking, feet, like role play. I mean, so
where's the peeing on people fall? Is that in there?
Peeing on people. Low. Oh, yeah. Golden showers. There's one called brown showers.
Hey.
So yeah, they're cuckolding, voyeurism, public, having sex in public. So I say this because when I saw the amount of money that was raised, the first thing in my head was, yeah, that fetish is way more common than people probably knew ahead of time, because they made damn near $200,000. You're not going to tell me somebody didn't get off on that sexually. It just was odd. And secondly, it's unhygienic. Like, you can't, they're putting peanut butter on people's toes and letting high schoolers lick it off. Like, what community is allowing? Like, this makes no sense.
Thank you, Antoine, for just, because Karen said child abuse, college students are generally dogs. These are high school students. That's what we're talking about. Like,
right.
Yeah. If they were college students, it probably wouldn't bother me as much. I would still say it's out of bounds. But with the fact that the administration is basically like, oh, they do this every year. They do something crazy every year. And like, we didn't participate. Like, they came up with it. Nigga, if you let high school students lead the way, you will be smoking weed, fucking in the hallways, driving while drinking. You cannot let high schoolers be in charge of anything. They need supervision. Are you fucking kidding me?
So there are some other things that happen, and that article just went out. But one of the other articles I read said one thing they do is they'll put, aside from licking toes, there are other challenges or dares. Someone was nominated to stand in a trash can, and this is after everyone had eaten all their lunch. So you would pour your lunch on top of this person that was in the trash can, and they throw up. They call that bird feeding. Or no, wait. No. Oh God, this is worse. Oh, the bird feeding would consist of 4 students. You can't tell me these ain't white
kids. There's no way these are not white kids. It's impossible.
I'm with you on that. I'm gonna read this and then we're gonna move on, because oh God. The bird feeding would consist of 4 students. So it's what you think it is. The first student would have to drink something, put it in their mouth, and then spit into the next person's mouth, and then spit into the third person's mouth. And the fourth person has to swallow it. Post-COVID.
You know what? Not even COVID. There's a reason you don't see kissing booths anymore. We learn over time that these things spread diseases. So whoever is in charge of like the school, do you have a school nurse? The school nurse should have been able to tell you, if one of the students is sick and they spit in another one's mouth, it's gonna spread disease. This goes against policy.
First of all, natural selection, because what you're saying, this gets worse. I wish I sent y'all this article. I'm sorry. There's no wait a minute. So any student could bid on another student, already problem. So to say a student didn't like me, they could put $100 on me to lick ketchup off someone's face. And if I didn't have $100 to give it to the charity to get out of it, I would just have to be involved with it. What the fuck is this? This is crazy. And then someone's claimed those with money can buy out of dares, have the upper hand. So if students can't afford this, Deer Creek, someplace in Oklahoma, y'all need to, I'm sorry. I'm in agreement with motherfucking Ted Cruz. This is motherfucking child abuse. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's wild.
Oh my God.
That sounds like Lord of the Flies meets Squid Games I,
Oh my gosh.
again, though, it's like,
I
and I'm
was
absolutely not defending it at all. But again, although it's not a good idea or it's a terrible idea to allow the kids to lead the way in something like this, that is still probably entirely what happened. So it's hard to figure out, like, for the GOP being mad at the school and like trying to close the business down.
Oh,
Of course,
no,
they're
no,
going to
no.
take any.
Yeah, that part. Thank you. So that part about it. So people are calling average Joe play the coffee shops and yelling at people, the employees who are people with disabilities, calling them pedophiles. I'm like, how you calling the goddamn coffee shop and screaming at them motherfuckers? You need to be calling the teachers, administrators at not the teachers, administrators, somebody, an adult at the school and holler at them. Because this other article, because it was an interview with two students who wanted to remain anonymous, but this gives a whole different spin on it because they're saying like, and they talked about it because they're like, look, a lot of these students, I don't want to speak for all of them, but they were saying, like, if you don't, one student said he begged his parents for money. He was like, I would always have so much anxiety if I was going to get nominated. It sounds like, what's that series,
Hunger
tribute?
Games.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So I would have begged my parents for hundreds of dollars during that week to ensure I wouldn't have to participate in the challenges. So I had money to pay my way out, but some students weren't fortunate like that. Some students would choose to skip lunch, and then they were threatened with detention if you didn't go to lunch. So if you
So if you're poor, if you're poor, you're more likely to be bird fed than somebody with money. Like, no. I wish somebody would. You come over here and see what the fuck happened. Try and bird feed me. I'll see what happened.
Oh, this is so much deeper. It's bullying and harassment for minors because we didn't agree to any of this. There was no consent. The parents didn't know. There was no approval. Maybe this year it just went like over the top. I don't know. Because this person goes, that's why I want to reach out to you guys and send that video. I want this to stop. Wow.
The fact that you had a room full of adults watching the kids do this and nobody raised their hand and said, hey, this is inappropriate. I don't know what kind of culture this is really speaking to, you know what? Maybe they trying to fuck it up for Beyonce. Like Beyonce finna take over country music and they going full country, loud country bumpkin over here in Oklahoma. Like, look what we really are. Like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Like they're trying to tell her, like, if you want to be in this, you got to be in.
Right.
Yes.
Said no rainbow flag, no proper sex ed, no 1619, but this is okay.
Right.
But this is okay.
Right.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi Danielle, what's up? Okay, we're moving. I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to spend that much time on that. Look, speaking of shit that people are like, no, we shutting this down. So Miami Beach said, you know what? Y'all keep y'all crazy asses away from here. So they put out a PSA, the city of Miami Beach, I assume. It said, hey, spring break, we're over. It's not us, it's you. We just want different things. Our idea of a good time is relaxing on the beach, hitting up the spa, checking out a new restaurant. You just want to get drunk in public and ignore laws. Do you even remember what happened last March? So brought up the chaos, violent incidents, injuries, deaths that happened. So they're like, that was our breaking point. So we're breaking up with you. This March, you can expect things like curfews, bag checks, restricted beach access, DUI checkpoints, $100 parking, and strong police enforcement for drug possession and violence. It's basically like, keep your ass at home. Don't even come here. But of course, that hasn't deterred people. There was another article that included they were interviewing some spring breakers that were leaving from Massachusetts. And they were like, yeah, we still going. And one guy said, in fact, I kind of want to go more. Now I want to go even more.
I'm sure he's from Boston. They go fuck around and find out. It sounds like they prepared for it. So as soon as people start congregating, they go shut it down. And it's unfortunate because the businesses there like all that, all that traffic, but it's unsafe.
They need it.
Yeah.
They need it, man. In Florida gets a bad name for a really good reason. So if your biggest threat that you have for these kids is, well, we're going to enforce laws, like, what the fuck y'all been doing?
Yeah. Oh, and I went randomly. I don't know why this thing keeps doing the transition after the fact, but they had some pretty people in the video. This girl kicked it off. That's why I had her photo up there.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, she was real. Everybody's real snarky in the video. Like,
it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, once we get on our new platform, we will, run the tape or roll the tape or whatever fuck it's called.
Yeah.
Switch reels.
Interestingly enough, I really love you motherfuckers because Danielle hit me up last night to see if I wanted to go see Madonna. She found some cheap tickets. And I had to tell her I can't go because I got to send Crescent some money for us to get this new fucking computer. So it's a no for me tonight. And Madonna is on my bucket list. I still haven't seen her. So that's
Also,
love.
Let's
That's love.
also talk about what happened. I got off a plane, got this. You called me. I couldn't answer because I literally had just gotten in a rental car. I'm on the 190 trying to get to downtown Chicago. I see your text. Pull over. Pull out the credit card because I'm like, we getting this new computer because we getting this new platform. We bout it. Okay, this is what we doing. All right. So
yep, it was. I didn't think. I didn't think eBay would take the credit card, but they took that money right away.
Look, it's room on there.
Oh no! It wasn't. No, I just thought because I'm not me using a credit card, even though I had all the information. I just thought they would go say, "Oh, we got to confirm this or something." No, as soon as I put the info in, they were like, "The money, yeah, we got our money, we shipping it." So
look, we can talk about later why I know sites take cards. Okay. That's why I was like, "You'll be good."
Yeah, it was seamless.
You gotta do what you gotta do in these streets. Oh, Karen said there's no spring break in Gilead.
Right.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. So moving on. State of the Union. So as we were talking about beforehand, so I caught, in terms of actually listening to it live, I caught like the last kind of third of it. And but read through all of it, caught mad clips. Everybody's been talking about it nonstop since then, at least, on the political shows and stuff. MSNBC, CNN. And so just overall, fucking phenomenal. Everybody talk about Sleepy Joe and he can't hold his head up and he can't get sentences out and he ain't about it. And that motherfucker said, watch me. He said, fuck your polls.
Said, I didn't come to play with you hoes. I came to slay, bitch.
Right.
I like cornbreads and collard greens, bitch.
Look, I wasn't VP to a black man for 8 years for no reason, okay?
It was because I was I texting you? Yeah, I was texting Crescent. She texted me. Because now I'm back to smoking weed every once in a blue moon in the middle of the day when I'm taking a break. So
I thought you was on a hiatus until we got to 1,000.
Oh no, that's alcohol. That's alcohol. I haven't had alcohol in it's been 6 or 7 weeks.
We can get there.
Yeah, at any rate, so I told Crescent, I'm about to watch the State of the Union, and she was like, "Oh, nigga, it's fire." So I'm watching it, and he get up there and I'm listening casually, and all of a sudden he said some shit like, You can't love the country only when you win." I said, "Oh shit," I perked up. Then a few minutes later, it was like, in the words of LL Cool J, "Don't call it a comeback, bitch. It's a setback that I turned into a comeback." Then he was like, "I heard you and your little friends out there running your mouth out here in the streets, but bitch, I saw you cash that check. I saw you cash that motherfucking check." He was reading them for film.
He was. So a couple things. Just out the gate, he came in like the star that he is. Like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" Marjorie Taylor Greene had a crazy ass get up on, and so the reaction to her seeing that, it's like when you open your door at Halloween, you see a crazy ass costume. You're like, "What the fuck is that?" So that was so that's been online on social media nonstop. His remarks were very, very clear about what's at stake. He opened up talking about FDR. Okay. Mm-hmm. He said President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this is no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault in the world. This is 1941. And one thing I noticed think about it, FDR, he was the president, he ran 4 times. We don't do that anymore because he did it. And at the time that was unprecedented, right? Look, and what we got out of that, the World War II, got involved, got that handled. The New Deal, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the things that we take for granted now came out of that, him being in office for 4 terms. And so I think about it now. Yeah, Biden's the oldest one we got, but he also has mad experience. Like we were talking about with Hillary Clinton the other day. He's been a senator forever, right? He was a VP for 8 years. He's been president now for already 4 years. So look, in times like this, experience matters. Okay, relationships fucking matter. So yeah, we are unprecedented times. We probably about to have the oldest motherfucker as being president we ever had. Okay, that's fine. I can run with it. It's cool. Like Antoine was saying, so he mentioned foreign threats, right? He said it wasn't long ago when a Republican president named, this motherfucker quoted Ronald Reagan, okay?
He sure did.
He said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And now my predecessor, which he said like 13 or 14 times, right? He never said Trump's actual name. He just kept saying
one time.
My predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want. So we went from Gorbachev tear down that wall to whatever fuck you want to do, Putin, you got it, right? And he said
every time he said my predecessor, my brain translated it as that hoe over there. So every time he said that hoe over there, I said Putin, do whatever you fuck you want. Like I still mentally translated. Yeah, he was fired the fuck up.
Yeah, he said. Go ahead, Jason. You're gonna ask a question.
No, I was just I'm listening because I didn't get an opportunity to watch it in real time, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
So yeah, I'm gonna try and like kind of as quickly as possible. This is something to highlight. So with regard to the Putin stuff, he said a former president actually said that bowing down to a Russian leader. I think it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable. Damn straight. So regarding abortion, he was like, Roe v. Wade got it right. He thanked his vice president, hey Kamala, for leading this fight. Quote, he said, my predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos that has resulted, right? He mentioned Alabama banning IVF. He mentioned Kate Cox, who had that fatal fetal condition.
And she was there, right?
Yep, she was present. She had to flee the state, right? And is currently suing Texas. And he said, my God, what else freedom would y'all take away? Then this part, love this part. While looking at the Supreme Court justices who were present right there in the front row, he said, with all due respect, justices, women are not without electoral or political power, which is what they said in their motherfucking opinion. He was like, let me throw your words back in your face. And that's right. Go ahead, Antoine, you about to say something?
Did you see their faces when my favorite part of the address was, I was like, they hired Wendy Williams, shady cameraman. That every time he'd say, my friends on the other side of the aisle, and then he would say something derogatory about them, and you see the whole room clapping, and the cameraman would go to the section where the Republicans were, and they just sitting there mean mugging. And even Mike Johnson's ass, I don't know how I will say Mike Johnson has good hair. I'll give him that. But I mean, he had to sit there with that smug look on his face the whole time, and had nerve to stand up when John Lewis's name was mentioned.
Okay.
I was like, come on now.
Someone said about the Supreme Court justices that Jackson, Sotomayor and Kagan were like just trying to keep their faces neutral, because someone's like, I know they were sitting there like laying them, like what was it? Mimi said, get him again. Like they were like, we just got to keep our face neutral because he is saying all the things right now.
They were, because I was like, is Ketanji mad? Like, because they just they all had blank faces, and I'm like, I didn't know what that meant, but yeah, they didn't collectively. They did not look happy when he called them out on that. They did not look happy as a collective.
But it's like sitting there with your crew, and you know which hoes was the ones acting up, but everybody getting blamed for it. I'm like, you ain't talking to me, right? Like I'm gonna sit here and just kind of
see. This is the problem with group projects. That's what, like, shit.
That part.
I mean, it's really kind of, I won't go deep because we're going further into the thing. It's just terrifying and kind of and disheartening and discouraging that there is so much divisive. It's almost like extremism on both sides by necessity. Like you almost have to be extremely progressive or extremely liberal, just like we're playing tug of war. You know, just to keep a balance. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but to that point, and whose fault is that, right? Like, and that's the thing. Anytime someone says to me about it's so polarizing or like it's so divisive, who kicked that off? Not the fucking Democrats. we stay trying to reach across the aisle to you fucking vipers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't us. We didn't do it. So with regard to Roe v. Wade, he said, look, educational civics, you voter, hey voter, because we clearly can't fuck with the courts no more. Voter, if you give me a Democratic run Congress, I can make Roe v. Wade law of the land, right? Like putting agency back on the voter. Get your asses out here. Give me a Democratic controlled Senate, a Democratic controlled House. Bet we can make a lot of big things happen, right? He said this was another one with regard to infrastructure, right? So there was that bipartisan infrastructure law. So 46,000 new projects have been announced. And by the way, quoting, I noticed some of y'all strongly voted against it, are out there cheering on that money coming in. And I like it. I'm with you. And hey. And if any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. We take it back.
He had jokes. He had several jokes.
Somebody wants it.
Yeah. Because when he came out, he said, what was the first joke he said? If I was smart, I'd go home right now, I think he said. Something like that at the top. That was the first thing he said.
Yeah. Yes. Wait. Yes. Sorry. Were you about to ask a question?
No, I was just curious because you mentioned infrastructure, and while this is only kind of connected, where the fuck is Pete Buttigieg?
Oh, they said the camera went, like I said, shady cameraman. The camera went right to Pete. He was there.
And Pete
that dude be cutting him with the wit. He be coming at him.
So that's what I was about to say. So Pete is often on CNN, MSNBC, or he will go on Fox. Pete will go on Fox with a very calm, with his 2000 IQ, get on there and just break shit down. So he's been quoted a lot. Actually, you know what's funny? He just was meeting up with one of my classmates who's also she's in the DOJ, and they were doing an interview.
Light flex.
Humble brag. So you know the circles we Harvard people run in.
I'm just saying at some point.
Also, Pete wouldn't be a good homosexual if he didn't have that innate superpower to read motherfuckers for filth. We all have it. We don't all execute it in the way that others do, but we all have that superpower.
Yeah. So Pete was most definitely in the house, and that's the other thing too about the bill. So roads, bridges, ports, airports, public transportation, all the removing poisonous lead pipes, right? All these things are happening. Republicans who voted against this sitting there with big checks smiling next to this bridge is finally getting repaired. Like they actually have something to do with it. And he's like, I see you. I see you right now, right? Oh, I didn't get the details of this, but for the tax code, he did a call and response. I was like, we are in charge. He was like, who thinks the tax code is fair?
Yeah, I had never seen no shit like that before.
It's never happened before. It was awesome. Oh, and then immigration. Okay. So he says immigration, the fucking Republicans is talking shit. He's like, oh, so you don't like that bill, huh? He said the conservatives got together and said that was a good bill. Well, I'll be darned. That's amazing. He was just talking so much shit.
Yeah, he was.
And he said the bill would hire 1,500 more security agents and officers, 100 more immigration judges to help tackle the backload of 2 million cases, 4,300 more asylum officers, new policies that they can resolve cases in 6 months instead of 6 years. What are you against? 100 more high-tech drug detection machines to increase the ability to screen and stop vehicles smuggling fentanyl into America. And I read an article about that the other day. So they have this technology that the Republicans are not approving the budget for them to implement. So while you out here talking all this shit about fentanyl at the border, y'all got a solution for it, but you sitting on it because you don't want him to get a win.
Yeah.
He said, give me and any new president new emergency authority to temporarily shut down the border when the number of migrants at the border is overwhelming. So again, for all this fucking Republicans who are like, shut down the border, he's like, under this bill, that is an option once it gets to be completely out of control. But right now, you can't just shut down the border because when Trump did it, that shit got shut. You can't do that. That's not how our laws are written. Sorry. Okay, wait. Yeah, he said, I'm told my predecessor called Republicans in Congress and demanded that they block the bill. He feels it would be a political win for me and a political loser for him. Right. So then Marjorie Taylor Greene, with her campaign shit on that you're not supposed to do, that's against the rules of the House, or sitting on the floor with wearing campaign gear. She gave him a pin that said, Is it Laken Riley? Is that how you say that child's name? That woman's name who was killed? Laken.
Oh, I'm not sure how to
I
pronounce
know
it.
he mispronounced it, so I don't want to also do the same thing. But it was a pin that said "say her name," which I'm like, okay, you took that from Black people, but it's okay, whatever. She died, and it's unfortunate. Say her name, Laken Riley. So she was handing these pins out, so he took one. So he got to that part, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I got it. I'm gonna say her name. That shouldn't have happened."
I didn't realize that was the. I didn't realize that's how that happened.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't.
she was being an asshole and was like, "Here, take it." And so he took the button or the pin or
Oh,
whatever, and then he said, "Yeah." He was like, "And I understand." He was like, "But how many thousands of people are killed?" So here's one part. He said by an illegal. People didn't like that, and it was not a good choice of words. But it's also what they say, right? Like it's what the Republicans say. So he was like, I've lost family, right? Like my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand. She's 20-something-year-old nurse who was killed by, I think, someone who's illegal. I have not
Right.
read the case.
yeah. I just know it's from Venezuela. That was the only thing that I caught. Yeah.
Right. So he says someone's killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many thousands of people are killed by legals?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Awkward, but facts. Go ahead.
no,
Go
that's
ahead,
just
Antoine.
like I was literally because I have all these problems in my head with race, just whatever. I'm just like that, and I've been addicted because the politics. I just stopped delving in, so I've been listening to a lot of crime, like true crime podcasts,
Oh,
like 24 hours a day.
Oh, don't do it to
But
yourself, Jason.
I'm gonna go
Ooh.
short. But the funny thing is, I dare somebody to cross-reference how many serial killers, serial rapists, and shit are white, and how many of them, and cross-reference that with the voting rolls. I would be able to bet money that almost everybody on the sex offenders list in America, if they are voters at all, are Trump support. I would bet money. It's not because I hate Trump. It's just that there's so many things about their culture. I don't mean white folks' culture, but the specific cultures of these individuals that
Yeah.
make me think that, like, bro, y'all keep talking about that. Someone's going to look it up and the numbers aren't going to serve you.
Oh, I'm
No.
sure that article is out there. In fact, I'm gonna do some research and find it because exactly what you said. And again, I know. Like I said, I stay on Twitter. The number of times that I'll see a tweet where pastor got set up, just got arrested for having X number amount of child porn on his computer or literally touching kids. Like it is always a white man. It is
Yeah.
always it's a couple times a day. I'll see a post.
Well,
It's
and it's
always like
also
specifically just beyond midlife, like about a 62 to 67-year-old white male, and they're almost always somebody who like has things. It's not like all the broke folks. It's like we only know about them because he ran a church or he had a business and it was his, or he married into a family with 2 daughters or 2 sons. And what, like, y'all, the way that you look at your illegals, and I hate to say that, I bet you there's
Undocumented.
more of them picking avocados than there are hurting people. I bet you $1.
well, and
Undocumented or migrant.
again
Go ahead.
to reference Cat Williams once again, the interview that just keeps giving.
The never-ending font.
It never because I can draw a metaphor between that interview and everything that has happened this year. People taking something not insignificant, but not representative of the status quo and trying to present it as representative of the status quo, meaning you found one immigrant, illegal or not, you found one that committed a serious crime. When you compare that by the numbers that they've been throwing at us, millions have been coming in. It's a leaky faucet that's just turned into a torrent of illegal immigrants. Okay, out of all of these motherfuckers that done snuck in this country, we had one of them commit a serious crime. Statistically speaking, we're winning if that's the case. I don't want to diminish what happened
Of course not.
to this person, but that is an outlier. That is an outlier. It is not representative of what these people are coming here for. These people are coming here for opportunity. They're not bad people. If we could get our act together, there needs to be a pathway that we force people to follow when they want to come here. And that has been on the table, and you motherfuckers don't want to do what you said that you wanted to do to fix the problem. So, Yeah, this shit is stupid.
And a lot of what we did have in place, Trump dismantled it. So
Yes.
he made it already not great system worse. So thank you for that. Also with regard to, there's an article that I keep, look, we having a lot of articles, so it's already, we trying to keep it less than 2 hours at this point. But one of the headlines, which we'll talk about next week, Trump's claim of migrant crime wave are not supported by the national data. Okay, the truth about illegal immigration and crime, no, it's not what they're saying. It's not by any measure of that. So we'll talk about it next week, though.
Because I wish every time when someone pulls that singular incident and they want to put a name to the victim, I don't have anything against that. But why don't you talk about how farmers are surviving here in America by hiring these people to do jobs that Americans don't want to do? And if you're going to point out the negatives, point out the overwhelming positives that are occurring, how our economy is, part of our economy is dependent on these people coming in. So it's something, and that's not a good soundbite when it comes to people on the right. That doesn't make sense to them. How is that possible? And it's crazy when these wealthy people, look, I'm an Uber and Lyft driver in Los Angeles. When I go into the Hollywood Hills, I'm going up there picking up people. It's always a Filipino woman. Most Filipinos are probably here legally because of our relationship with the Philippines, but it's a Filipino caretaker or a Guatemalan or Mexican cleaning lady. Now, who's hiring them? I can't afford to hire a Mexican or Guatemalan cleaning lady. So the hypocrisy is crazy.
It's endless.
It's crazy.
Again, what we've talked about with our fruit, like, and again, and not to say that it's always a group of immigrants, but it's not us out there picking your strawberries and your fucking avocados and oranges and all that shit.
You talk about fruit. I had an argument with one of my friends. I was like, I have known you a long time. We have both had stints of working and not working. You talk about the border. Nigga, what has a border ever done for your black ass here in America? I've never seen you at Home Depot. Like, what are they taking that you? I ain't seen you standing out there. These mugs be out there working. They come to your house work. A man lifted a Volkswagen engine with his bare hands in front of me. He couldn't have been more than 4'11 and 3/2, and he would just reach down like, no, I got it. Thank you. Pick that stuff up like, is it metal? I'll take it. Bro, none of us as Americans, and I'm not specifically talking about black folks, although it does hurt me more to hear any of us talking cross-eyed to any of the rest of us, because I see us all as a closer level.
Yeah.
But a lot of my broke white friends that I grew up with in Venice that are what they call working class, which really means struggling, like working poor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And these cats are like, oh yeah, yeah, but these Black Lives Matter guys get on my freeway, man, I'm gonna run them right over. I'm like, what the fuck is your stupid broke white ass? They don't love you, my man. They don't love you.
No, not at all.
If you don't have money in this country, you are on our team. The black folks with money are also on our team. There's one little team of the people they think are America. So when they say, if you only count the legitimate votes and then go off to list every majority black or largely populated black city as illegitimate votes, what do you think they're saying? They're not.
Yeah. Pause.
Like, my
Jason,
man, you talking about voting for Trump?
Jason, you said, what do you think they're saying? Your key word there is think. There's no thinking. They're hearing talking points and they're running with it. That's a huge part of the problem. People are not paying attention, right? I'm about to go down that road, but yeah, they're not. So like you said, it takes someone who's in their orbit carefully pointing certain things out to them, right? And a lot of times I'll read, cats are like, I'm sorry, because we swooped by Home Depot, got some help. They came, they stayed all day. I got a new roof. I got a new furnace. You mean like, they're like, please, what are you talking about? We need immigrants in this country. The hypocrisy is just, again, Antoine and I are going to find a stronger word at some point because it's out of control. Tony, so just to be clear about what happened with Laken Riley, she was killed by what has been identified as a Venezuelan who entered illegally. I appreciate the way you phrase that. So yeah, just to clarify. So he says about this He goes to her parents. I say, my heart goes out to you. Having lost children myself, I understand. I will not demonize immigrants, saying they are the poison in the blood of our country. I
Oh,
will
I
not
love that.
separate families. I will not ban people because of their faith. Okay?
Yeah.
That. He also talked about gun control. He said, I'm demanding a ban on assault weapons and high capacity magazines, pass universal background checks. None of this. None of this. He said, I taught the Second Amendment for 12 years. He's like,
Yeah.
none of this violates the Second Amendment or vilifies responsible gun owners.
No.
Right.
Okay. Okay. With regard to Israel and Gaza, of course he had to address it, right? He said he stressed that his administration is working on a ceasefire so that hostages can be released and more humanitarian assistance can be delivered. He noted that Israel has a fundamental responsibility to protect innocent civilians in Gaza. He's urging leaders there to not view humanitarian aid to Gaza as a secondary consideration or a bargaining chip. He said, we're going to do an emergency mission. The U.S. military is going to construct a temporary port in Gaza, basically to help get more food, more water, more supplies, so that they're not actually entering officially into the war zone, which takes us into another kind of level of this. And he did say, he's been saying this, the only real solution is a two-state solution, which is not what Netanyahu wants, which is clear. But so he addressed it. Again, I'm sure there's people would have wanted him to say more, but he did not address it. He said, look, this is what we're working on. So yeah, just as far like, so then just some of the responses. I know I will say this. He did mention like trying to address the rising mortgage rates and what to do for like first time home buyers or people who are moving to like a larger home and trying not to lose the existing rate that they have. Look, federal support for childcare, right? A gas bill, addressing rising rents, right? Again, but if we have a Congress that writes the laws, because that's how this works, right? You get a Congress that's gonna write the laws that you want, then you have a president who will sign off on this shit. So please, let's keep this man in office. Please. Okay. So Tony said, yeah, I still haven't watched it. He said, once again, everybody needs to watch A Day Without a Mexican.
Yeah, that came out quite some time ago, didn't it? That's almost
did.
like 7 or 8 years ago, isn't it? Yeah, I still
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
It might have been longer, but still, it sounds like it should be required viewing once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Ernest said, if a Guatemalan refugee can take your job, then you have a very shitty job. That's what I'm saying, because I'm like, if you sitting in a corner office somewhere, what are you talking about? Is the immigrant in the room with us right now? What job is he taking from you? Please tell me. Please tell me. Ugh, they're annoying. So then some of the responses. So yeah, like I said, responses, cats were like, that's my president. That's what we need to hear. CNN poll, there was more than 6 in 10 viewers had a positive reaction to the speech. Chris Hayes noted, and I think Joy Reid signed off on this. She was like, here's the thing, when you set low expectations for politicians, and right now expectations for him have been very low, right? Like listening to a dominant messages out there, he sound like he's tripping over his feet, falling every time he leave the house, like he's just doddering and crazy. Not that dude last night, right? Like that dude was on fire. Look, in the moment, ad-libbing, like going toe to toe with cats.
Yeah.
Right? So Tim Miller, who's he's always on MSNBC, he says somehow Joe is riddled with dementia and also too amped up and also masterminding a global crime syndicate. Like which one is it?
I'm sorry, what? You don't have to like him, but I mean, don't be out here lying on niggas. Like,
this is what I'm saying.
That's just not. He was, he even if you don't like him, it was a good State of the Union. I think I'm gonna do my due diligence. I do want to know what Arab Americans thought about it in terms of I do want, because on the last episode I said I didn't say I was not going to vote for Biden, but I need to see some shit happen. And again, I am confident that it is going to happen. Kamala already said what she had to say. That was before I even took that stance. And then with them, pledging to have safe aid reach, the people in Gaza, that's a step in the right direction. But I'm confident that there's going to be a ceasefire before the election, and that's kind of all I need. I just don't want to cast my vote. I want to cast what's the word? I want to be able to cast my vote for Joe Biden with no prejudice and good conscience. So conscience. God damn it. In good conscience with no prejudice. So I think they'll pull it off.
I
Look,
mean,
I want that.
if
Go ahead,
I think
Jason. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
think me and Crescent is one of the few things that we've ever had like a head bust on
That's
ever,
nice of you.
and I've known her for almost 3 years now.
Mhm. Me and her starting to butt heads on it a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
but it's
and
okay.
I understand. Listen, I understand. I didn't get a chance to say this, but my wife is very much along the very same lines. It's like I don't even know why you're talking about it. This is what we need to do. So
Mhm.
so I get it, and I don't disagree. I feel like, and this is just for me. This is not me telling anyone else anything about anything. When I hear the threat of how much worse the Trump will be, and I do not at all disagree, especially after the thing we're going to talk about in a second. Those kinds of
Mhm.
things are terrifying. His visit and stuff.
Right.
Viktor Orban.
It gets to me where like at some point, man, like, okay, so this next guy is not going to let me vote anymore if we don't keep this guy in office. Two things. First of all, this guy's only in office one more time, if that. So that's problematic, troubling, not problematic. And secondly, like, so then what? My option is then I get to have someone else like, give me someone that I have to vote for that I also don't want. Like,
Yeah.
as a someone that follows the ideas of what a democracy is, like this country, but every time you talk about a true democracy in this country, both sides refer to majority rule as mob rule. Like they don't want
Yeah.
democracy in this country. To them,
Well,
majority rule and mob rule are interchangeable
we
because I
can
don't
work to
want him.
that.
I didn't want Hillary. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. I can write down for you what I don't like about them.
That's
We
fine.
can try to put it in that box. It's like it's the same as saying I'm an anti-Semite because I have these problems with Israel. To say
Right.
that it's not because she's a woman.
No.
I don't like her. I don't have to like her because she is a woman. And
No, absolutely
I
not.
don't not like Biden. I actually think he's done an incredible job, especially with what they've been putting up against him, like Barack did, who I also
Mhm.
didn't love as much as I was told to, which is fine.
Mhm.
I'm just like that about
Yes.
America. But at the same time, and I won't run my mouth forever, it's like when you say I have to vote in good conscience, and you've seen me write it down, Crescent, like I always write, I vote my conscience as guided by my intellect and informed by my life experience.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
My conscience says that human beings, if I'm going to have the gall to say Black Lives Matter, I cannot vote like Palestinian lives do not.
Right.
I can't do both. I can't, you know what I mean? So that my thing is like, I'm not pretending, I'm not taking this like thing in my hand, like I am a liberal and I believe I'm not holding myself up as a moral any fucking thing.
Uh-huh.
I love humans and humanity, and what he has done thus far,
Mm-hmm.
in this action and the words that he was using early on, which he has backed away from about, I'm a Zionist. I'm gonna like
Yeah.
he has simmered down a little bit, and it isn't just him. So it doesn't to me, I'm not sure it matters who's in office. So what I wanted to say that I went too long on is like it probably isn't fair of us to hold up what some other country may or may not do as a barometer of how we're gonna treat him, because he actually has no fucking control over what Bibi and them do. I learned some of that today because I did like a really, really deep dive over the past 2 days on the history of the far right in Israel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Just
And
like a
also,
super
again, just
deep
in
dive.
all
And
this
like
whole
your boy
situation,
Bibi is
go ahead.
basically like
He's
your boy
Trump.
Bibi is basically like David Duke.
Yes.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? It's like he's not hiding it. He's always been not a right-leaning, a right-winging individual that he's just found people even further to his right that he now has to kowtow to.
Yes.
Because my argument that made me lead down it was like I was having an argument today. I was like, you know, that it is impossible for you to tell me that you won't do a ceasefire because you need to know how many hostages there are and get them all back. You know, this is Israel. It's impossible that that's what you mean if you are bombing every square inch of Gaza. You don't give a fuck about no fucking hostages. It's
No.
impossible.
No.
How?
Jason,
So
he is only
yes,
in
sir.
office to avoid going to jail. That's it. And
That's
he
what
has
Trump
never
wants.
wanted, he has never, exactly. And he has never wanted a two-state solution. And I have to research this further. But from my understanding, a few clips that I was like things that I saw read, quietly he was okay with Hamas being funded because Hamas meant there was never going to be a two-state solution. Because as long
And
as
it
Hamas
wasn't
was dealing with
quietly. They funded them. It wasn't quiet.
so and I just didn't have that verified yet, but there you go. And
Yeah.
also they knew a year in advance the plans, right? Maybe Bibi himself did not know, but someone in his administration was told, here are their plans, and they dismissed that shit. So he got blood on his hands, period. And as soon as he's out of office, he's going to jail.
That's why he has so much opposition on their soil too, is because no matter how you look at it or slice it, everyone over there feels that he has blood on his hands. And if my black ass can sit here, however many miles away or kilometers, because they probably don't use miles, however far away I am, and know that he and his military are just killing everything there, and hostages don't mean a fucking thing. Trust me, the families of those hostages know that as well. And they have a voice to speak over there so far because they haven't been able to dismantle the courts like they're trying to do, like we're trying to do over here by taking over the courts with highly politicized.
Oh no, he did take over the courts. He fucked up the courts over there. That was like last year or so, a year and a half ago or so.
It didn't get to that far with Ryerson. No, it was happening when this happened, which is part of why he let this happen. I'm sure, like knowing it was going to happen, he's like, well, this will get him on my side. If we're at war, I got to stay here till I win.
Well, see, one thing I think, this is where I think Joe Biden's political career is at actual disadvantage.
A little bit.
He has had a relationship with Israel. He's so old. He was there when Israel was created.
Yeah.
So he has long-standing relationships with people on the international field, playing field, and with Israel. So when you have a situation like this, he has to be a lot more diplomatic because he has all that history behind him. As opposed to somebody like Barack in this situation, this would have been handled differently because he don't have all that bureaucratic red tape and history that he would have to deal with. Not just Barack, any other president that was fairly young. So that's a disadvantage. He's always going to try and he's always going to try diplomacy.
Well, also, to that, Antoine, one thing I heard exactly about what you're talking about is given how long he's also seen the things that have happened to Israel in terms of the violence, right? Like creation of Israel, but all the different types of violence, the different times terrorists have like just legitimately terrorized the country. So there is that innate, like, I know what this country has been through under other leadership, right? So yeah.
Right. But the problem here, the disconnect is when you are trying to be diplomatic with a dictator.
Yes.
And the fact that, us saying, oh, well, there are allies and this, that, and the third, when Donald Trump is chomping at the bit to get back in office and have a relationship with somebody like Netanyahu, it scares me that we have to sleep in the same bed with somebody who loves Donald Trump. And that is where my disconnect is. But like I said, the thing that's starting to bother me to a certain extent, and I know like there's so much at stake, I'm getting tired of people pointing to the boogeyman and saying, well, you might not like what I'm doing, but that motherfucker is worse. And it's like, no, I voted for you. I want you to at least listen to my complaints about how you're handling something instead of always telling me, well, that guy is worse. That doesn't make me feel good.
He's heard everybody. Trust me.
I know.
He is aware that this is an issue. He is aware.
So that's my only, that's my only complaint. Like I said, I'm still voting for the man. I'm not gonna not vote for him. I just want to see change. I just want to see some things move a little faster because every day that we drag our feet, people are dying. They're not getting clean water. So yeah.
And I hear you on, but the other guy's worse argument that happens. But it's not just that the other guy's worse. This will be our last vote if Trump goes back in office. And I know I keep saying it, but I keep saying it because it's true. Because that's the plan that they put. They're already telling us that that's the plan they're going to implement. And when we talk about Viktor Orban, he's done it. He's doing it. So it can happen. Also the court, because if Trump goes back,
it just makes it hard.
If Trump goes back in office, Alito and Clarence Thomas are rolling off, and they're going to put a 40-year-old conservative in. So it's a wrap. It literally is a wrap.
Yeah.
And so, and you already see what this
Yeah.
current court is doing. So, and I was thinking about this, right? Like we have concerns about Gaza, extreme, legitimate, problematic ass shit that's going on. Trump goes back in office. Now we got to be careful about our neighbors, right? Like those white people you cool with, and you know they have different political leanings. They might decide to snitch on your ass, and Trump's Gestapo police putting your ass in jail. So, like,
Right.
like what happens to us if he goes back in? Now, who gonna be worried about us? Who?
It just puts us in a bad position because with so much waiting in the wings to take over the status quo, it makes me feel like an asshole criticizing the people who are in charge currently that I help put in office when I don't think they're doing everything the way I would like them to do it. You get what I'm saying? There's an imbalance there. It feels like so much is at stake. I should keep my fucking mouth closed and not say anything, but just that number, that 30,000 number just doesn't sit well with me. So that is why it makes me uncomfortable, but I'm still going to vote for him, but I'm going to still be critical when I need to be.
And that's the thing. You get to be critical, right? Under a not crazy president, you get to have critiques.
Yeah.
But under anher president, you get rounded up because that's what the plan is. There will be he talking about taking out MSNBC. Now, granted, that's gonna be challenging, but he gonna do whatever the fuck he can. He's talking about revenge and retribution.
Yeah,
that's what he on. So, but yeah, we get to have critiques. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank God. We get to protest. Thank God.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, y'all, on a different note, as a throwback to a previous article, I remembered today that I've only been to Florida twice. I went for spring break. I went for spring break in college in 94, 95. I went to Daytona Beach. And I went one time, a guy I was dating about 12 years ago. I went to Miami with him. But when I was in Daytona Beach, I was detained.
You know what, Antoine?
By the guy you were dating or by the police?
No, I wasn't dating a guy when I was in Daytona Beach.
Oh, okay. I was just
no, but it's fun. I remembered it because funny enough, I was with one of my frat brothers, and his nickname was Snatch. Me and Snatch are walking down the street at Daytona Beach, and we're drinking beer, and some cops spotted us, rounded our asses up, threw us in a paddy wagon, and took us to the police station. And one of the girls we went with had to bail us out. And what was crazy, that trip became a nightmare because we paid the girl back, who's a friend of mine. We paid her back, and then we were in our hotel room getting ready to leave Daytona, and she couldn't find the money that we gave her. And she was like, "Did y'all pay me?" And we were like, "Yeah, we paid you." And then she couldn't find the money. And the ride back was awkward as fuck because it was like, and I've always been the brokest nigga in the room. And I thank you for bailing me out and paying whatever you need to pay, but I ain't got double after I done paid you already. So, and everybody on the trip nobody was a thief, so it was weird. It was weird. At any rate, that was my first experience in Florida. I should have known to stay out of that motherfucker after that.
Well, it's funny though that you mentioned getting put in jail, because that was actually one of the analogies I had too, right? Like, so, and this happens right now to Black people in particular, right? But definitely poor people. You'll get your ass rounded up on a Friday. They can't actually get a judge to get your ass bail, right? Okay, so you spend the weekend.
Yeah,
in county and LA, you do not want that to happen.
Okay.
You do not want it to happen.
So let's say you're in the system and it's a racist ass motherfucker. So you get denied bail on some bullshit. So you don't even get to be heard. So now let's say you in jail for like a week. Your job is gone, right? Like your life is fucking fucked up now.
Mm-hmm.
This is happening right now. So you get a system in place that's even worse than what we got.
I can't see the comments.
Oh, I mean, I've been doing some of them.
I know, but I can't see them when you do them either. I have a weird setup. Never mind.
You got a good camera, but you can't get the comments.
Yeah, it's all right. You take your loss. Listen. Just call up my homie Snatch, and he'll help me through. Next time I go out of state with now I used to go to Miami every March for Winter Music Conference for the International Dance Music Conference. And that place, if you're just a normal looking dude that doesn't work out all the time, that place is fucking depressing. I do fine here, but them people just too fucking pretty. All of them. I was so sick and tired of just drinking vodka, trying to drown my sorrows. Like, dang, I can meet them at a club in LA. And this is when I was young. I used to be young a long time ago. Man,
I
hate
used to
that
be
place.
young a long time ago. So
Yeah,
it's emasculating when you go into places where, because look, you could be in decent shape, but like when you go to like WeHo, some of these places in WeHo, it's an extremism that's happening. Like, because you know, gay niggas in the culture, like it's extreme. So you could be a healthy person that goes to the gym every day, but you got a motherfucker over here going to the Abbey who's on a cycle, who eats a fucking lima bean every day and only drinks water and no sugar.
This nigga jogged to the Abbey in his church shoes. Like, man, I'm about to get these legs right. When I get there, my legs gonna be tight as shit.
Yeah, so it's difficult.
Okay, so two things. One, Callum said, "Congrats on not contracting measles, Antoine."
I'm vaccinated.
Yeah. And then just as a throwback, A Day Without a Mexican came out 2004. I was like, that was a minute ago.
Oh my, that's 20 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, that was 20 years. Yeah.
Shit.
Okay, we're moving on. So because I want to get done talking about these people. So, of course, the opposition with regard to their response to State of the Union, I love this. They said he was divisive. They said he was partisan. They said he had too much energy. I think Hannity called him jacked up Joe, sounded like a hyper-caffeinated, angry old man. Y'all got a lot of motherfucking nerve given who y'all going with and his inability to even put a real sentence together. And also, who is the president? That's the question that they need to ask Trump every single time he's in not on Fox. Who is the president right now? And see what he says. Because he's not always gonna say Biden, because he might say Obama.
It's Obama. He says Obama a lot.
More often than not.
Yeah.
I think one of the few things, because I read through some of the State of the Union because I hadn't gotten a chance to watch it and I wanted to speak on it. And I read this, I heard this when it happened maybe a week or so ago, and then he mentioned it again, where he talked about not so much reaching across the aisle, but reaching into history and, well, have your guy Trump talk to me and help me get this bill through it. But I'm like, bro, don't make it seem as though you need this motherfucker to come riding in on his fucking golden toilet to help you. I understand that Trump's doing everything he can to make it not a win I get that. But there's some kind of a weird, and it might just be my personality, some kind of a weird weakness to being like, well, get your guy who's clearly really in control of things and let me talk to him and we can do this together. I'm like, y'all can't do shit together. I'm on some more like, fuck that guy, the goat he rode into town on, his raggedy ass mama. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna get something done without him. I just felt weird about that. Not bad. I mean, reaching across the aisle is part of the job. I just felt like that's not even the aisle. This nigga's, I don't know.
Well, but
that
that's
was the only little thing I was irked by.
That's why. So last night was not. It was. I mean, like he came in talking about that, right? Like, and that's fine. Like, and that's what a good politician should still strive for. Right. But that's part of the reason why last night was so interesting in their response to it. Because I'm like, no, he giving right now as good as he's been getting. Right. And so y'all got a lot of nerve to call this partisan when you motherfuckers came up with this bill and then said, no, we're not going to do it. Right. Like this border bill. So, and even then he's like, look, this is, we trying to get this done together. And trust me, if I had the votes to do it without you punk asses, I would. But, y'all don't get to sit here and complain about having no solutions when we have solutions that y'all don't want to fuck with, right? So it's like, look, we can work together, or if I can get Congress back, I don't need you, right? Like I don't.
And let's be honest here, compared to, because we are balanced, well-adjusted individuals who know how to act and practice decorum when we are in a public forum and speaking to the general fucking populace. Joe's attacks on the right were mild compared to what Donald Trump does.
Okay.
Like he's the most diplomatic. He is he's in general just a nice guy.
He really is.
And it's not his
Yeah.
style to go out there and just rattle off insults when there's work to be done and serious issues at hand. So for them to complain and say that, it's like, again, how big of a hypocrite are you? Trump goes up there and drops F-bombs regularly, insults people. I'm gonna put up, I think I have the
He's got a dirty nickname for everybody he don't like.
yeah, where's this image at?
So-
that bitch right there. But
We-
yeah, so
we get
this
to
is the
her.
image. Yeah.
So this was his response. So Trump's response was to have jokes and posted a compilation of Joe and Kamala with a bunch of goofy ass fucking filters. That's just one of them. It was a bunch of
Yeah.
them.
Oh, it was one where I ain't gonna lie, the filters were funny. But
But keep in mind, and here's the other thing too. This was like prearranged because these are images from last year's State of the Union. So they had this set up ready
Right.
to go. So it wasn't even
Right.
like last night's. They had this shit prepped because he's
Yeah.
a fucking evil kid, actually. Like
it's
gross.
inappropriate when even if you don't like the man, you take all the issues that he put on the table and discussed. If you have your own social media platform for your followers, what your response should be after hearing the State of the Union, you should then go through and say what you would do. And it's okay to call it all a bunch of bullshit. But at this point in time, we still don't have a clear understanding of, at least out of the horse's mouth, of how he would handle the situation in Israel with Gaza. We get all these general. No. I know, but it's, to me, that's still a generalization.
Oh, you meant we don't have a one from Biden.
No, what I mean is Trump's idea of a response to how we handle what's happening there are sound bites. It's not a concise, well thought out plan.
No.
It's sound bites. And when you're talking about 30,000 people dead, I don't want sound bites. I want somebody to sit down and figure out what the plan is. So yeah, it's you can't chastise Biden for saying what he said during the State of the Union address and not chastise Donald Trump for posting fucking cartoons as a response when the presidency of the United States is at stake.
So in terms of sound bites, what Trump is, he's encouraging genocide against Palestinians. That's his plan. His plan is to let Netanyahu do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
We knew that. We knew that.
plan.
Yeah, we knew that when we talked about the Abraham Accords. He's part of the reason all of this is happening in the first place. I want y'all to never forget that. He's not unrelated to October 7th is related to those Abraham Accords. Never forget that.
But also with regard to, and we're going to get to Katie in a second, but exactly what you're saying, though, Antoine. So what is the plan for y'all with these rising mortgage rates? What's the plan for y'all with these rising grocery rates? Y'all ain't saying shit about it, just saying shit is hard right now. Okay, Ann, so what's the plan? What's the plan from y'all to handle it?
Yeah.
Ain't heard shit. So, and with regard to them talking about he was campaigning, it was partisan. Trump gave Rush Limbaugh the fucking Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Yeah.
Like when he did his State of the Union, right? So also he in his State of the Union has talked about retribution, revenge. Them shits was dark. And then here's what I did not realize is that the State of the Union is set up by who's in control of the House. So y'all put this shit after Super Tuesday. This is the latest this has ever happened. And
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it either. I just read that today, and it was curious that this is when they did it. So I actually thought our side chose it, but I'm like, no, y'all did this to yourselves. So we just had Super Tuesday, and your boy, the orange asshole, been out here steady talking shit, steady popping off at the mouth. So the fuck you expect from our dude? Like, no, everything needed to be said was said. He could have went hard. Look, he could have went harder. But
how do you expect him to? Everything Trump says is vindictive and retaliatory, whether he's talking about America, it's foreign or domestic. He's always responding. It's like, why don't you criticize him with the same energy? Like, come
on. Yeah, sorry. So Jason and Kristen said hi.
I saw her. I waved at her. Hi, Kristen. I waved at her when I saw it. I put the thing down so I can see because I was reading Ernest and Tony's stuff just so that I'm keeping up with the conversation.
You know, it's a little, trust me, it's a little challenging. I'm trying to, do all the things. So,
No, I can
Ernest
read it
said,
over here now. Now I can't see me. I'm frozen on my screen, but I can read the
I can't,
comments and keep up.
I can't
Yeah,
help
you're
you.
fine. You're showing up just fine on this.
I want to move on to Katie's part, but so Ernest said Americans have no idea how to handle bullies. We always attack the person being bullied for stooping to their level instead of attacking the bully who started it. Well, that's why it's been funny because a lot of cats on MSNBC have been, not everybody, but some people have been noting, during the Obama administration, it was that whole they go low, we go high. Everybody's been like, fuck all that shit. Ain't nobody doing that shit in this era. No, we cannot.
Absolutely not. No, you
No.
You
got
remember?
to.
You remember mine? Mine was like when they go low, I lead with a knee and follow with an uppercut.
Yes.
Go on
Yes.
low, nigga. Go on, try to get them legs, boy. Come on in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time. You got to.
Because they're not going to stop. And I think that what happens is that, and it's oversimplifying, but it feels like if you go high every time, quote unquote, like talk around them and don't kind of immediately meet things head on, it demonstrates or manifests as a weakness, whether or not that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to the people that love and praise bullies, because that's who's on that other side. They're like, look at him, look how he talks to people. That's what I like. Because they want to do that. They want to stand up at work and tell you, fuck you, and I can do whatever I want. You're Fat Pete or whatever. That's so they really identify with the fact that he takes those kinds of moves.
Yeah.
And when we look like the wimpy dude in that, the My Favorite Bully movie or whatever, and don't do anything. And I'm not saying, of course, meet them with the same low level bullshit. The cool thing about being smarter than them is you're able to come back without going as low and just use condescension and fucking, you know what I mean? And
Well,
big words they don't understand and simple math and critical thinking.
another comment that I saw about last night is they were like, Biden was having fun. Right? Like he was in his element. He was serving them, but he had jokes, he was ad-libbing, he was, in the moment doing his thing. But again, that's what you get from experience. Somebody who had literally been in that chamber, in this seat, in government forever. Oh no, perfect transition to Katie. She's first female senator from Alabama. She's 42, and she said, Biden's been in office longer than I've been alive. I'm like, you know what? And I'm okay with that. That works for me. He knows more about, he's forgotten more about government than you probably ever, than you know at this point in your life. This I know, right?
Why is that a bad thing? I don't say something with meaning. That doesn't mean anything. If he's been doing a good job the whole time, it don't matter if he was there when you were born. It doesn't matter.
What she wanted to say was, "Blessed be the fruit."
So Miss Handmaid right here. So a couple things from her. She said the country we know and love seems to be slipping away. I'm not actually going to try and do her voice because it was super creepy. She's like, it feels like the next generation will have fewer opportunities and less freedom than we did. Here's my thing: when Republicans say this shit, y'all are the ones trying to deny women freedom. That's your side. Y'all are the people saying that, right?
Yeah.
So what fewer opportunities are you talking about? Right? And she's like, I worry my own children may not even get a shot at living their American dreams. How? What? I need more. I need you to tell me exactly what it is that you're talking about when you say this. She said the American dream has turned to a nightmare for so many families. Yeah, if you happen to be trans, absolutely. Right? If you're gay, 1000%. Living fucking the shit that y'all doing. If you're a woman who got raped and wants to have an abortion and you live in a red state, good luck. I hope you got some money to get the fuck out of that state to handle that. So yeah, it has been a nightmare, but that's because of the policies y'all put in place.
It's coming up, but they can't do it yet. But when they do start putting clarity to what they mean by that, it's going to be even more of a problem, because what they mean is, I am a low-level white bus driver and I don't get to tell niggers to sit in the back. I work at a diner counter and I don't get to not serve you. They want their world back where the lowest amongst them have power over, be it immigrants, legal or illegal, or people of color, or they all want to shit on people from the eligibility community or alphabet community, whatever. I don't know the letters. And I think like that is their part of their American dream, is scratching their way up to the low middle if they can manage that, and still having a lot of people to look down upon.
Oh yeah.
So all of their defense of billionaires and defense of tax codes and shit that they will never be able to take advantage of is aspirational for them.
Yeah.
They feel like the only thing between them and them being Trump is a bunch of niggas and Mexicans taking their jobs.
It
So
felt
I don't know. I mean,
it.
that is the stuff they mean when they talk about losing the American dream or
That's
wanting the
exactly
country
what
back.
she. That's exactly what she was saying the whole time. I'm watching her. My mind is translating what she's saying into the niggers and the Mexicans have way too much leeway. We've got to stop this.
Right, but here's the thing. That's what I'm hearing too.
That's exactly what I heard.
Exactly what she's saying. I'm like, say what the fuck you mean.
Right.
Say
Yeah.
that so that the people who are not closely paying attention can be clear. Because
Yeah.
you still trying to speak in code, but those of us who are not stupid are clear. But the ones who are low informed voters, which is what y'all like, right? The uneducated, you have said that out of your own mouths. Be clear. What exactly is it? What America are you trying to get us back to? Oh, that's right, 1930s, right?
It was so ambiguous. It was so like you said, say what you mean. Because if you didn't know any better, you would think that there were fucking armed robots outside of her door in some weird ass dystopian future where nobody has freedom anymore. And it's like, no, you just don't like the president. Like, that's all it is. And you don't like niggas and Mexicans. So yeah, it felt real dog whistly, like, you know, when people in Florida are saying, we're trying to protect the kids, and it's like, you hate fags. Keep it real.
Just
keep it real.
Say it.
Yeah, you know what we know what you mean. The dog whistling is getting stupid.
So somebody said she was AI generated. Ellie Mistal said this is some straight up Get Out level vibes. I think I have to turn off the television for my own safety.
Yeah.
Melissa Murray, who I adore, said, can we please discuss this response? It's giving drama club audition monologue. Is it just me? Someone else said she's the girl we all avoided in college dorms. Fact. Someone else said, I knew Katie Britt sounded familiar. Just needed the internet to add that Sarah McLachlan song from the SPCA commercial overheard. Mad people said SNL skit. Because, if SNL this shit on Saturday.
Oh, okay, it's the opening. Yeah, it's definitely the opening.
In fact,
and they better not disparage, but I love that song, Angel by Sarah McLachlan. Oh, I love that song. I cry every time I hear it, but I love that song.
Franklin Leonard said half the SNL cast is physically fighting each other right now who will play her for this episode coming up. And then just keep it at 100. This attorney, Barry Williams, said, this woman is a whole senator living in Alabama, i.e. pretty low cost of living, married to an ex-NFL player who is now a lobbyist, talking about her kids not living the American dream and how her dollar doesn't go very far. And doing this in her living room for staging, not even her kitchen, right? She goes, can this end now? At least give her a script that seems real. That's the other thing too. Katz is breaking down that expensive ass refrigerator situation she had going on in the background. They're like, so baseline, that's about 10,000 before you even get to like the paneling and how the look of everything. So again, you out here talking about we sit at the kitchen table trying to figure out how we're gonna get through the day. Bitch, you're good. Stop it.
Like, I wish there's people in LA wishing they had a kitchen table.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have one right now. I say Danielle said Brittany Packnett posted a video where she read the podcast Bros. Oh, it just went up. And traditional wives for this. That was the other thing I picked up on. This whole idea with, the white Christian nationalism, it's speaking to that as well. That's why that fucking kitchen was in the background.
Yeah.
Another dog whistle. It's like, we should be at home, being traditional, taking care of the kids. We shouldn't be voting. We should let the men handle that. And that is what she's speaking to. And what I think is such a disservice, bitch, you wouldn't be a senator if you wasn't out here putting in the work like men do. You probably had to work harder. So
here's the thing. Remember the guy that with Mark Robinson and how he became lieutenant governor is now running for governor because they find their tokens.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I'm not actually even questioning this woman's intelligence, but she got handpicked, right?
Yeah.
She looks and she gonna play the part.
Yeah.
I'm like, again, exactly in her kitchen. So someone else said, truly nothing will convince modern suburban women to vote Trump, like putting a woman responding to the president in the kitchen. That's the thing. Republicans were mad about this.
I read
were pissed off and baffled. One of them said, this is one of our biggest disasters, right?
Yeah.
Her voice, that whole kitchen setup. And it's like, girl, you a whole senator. So why are you giving trad wife as everybody, traditional
Yeah.
wife, for those who don't know, right? Like, it's like you got
Yeah.
this whole big ass, important ass fucking job, but yet I'm still happy homemaker of my 2 young little kids. Like,
Yeah.
girl, are you a leader or not? What is this?
And I didn't know. I'm sorry, Danielle. I misread what you said. I said traditional wives because I thought you were truncating it. So trad wives is a term.
It means traditional wife though, but yeah, like trad
Oh,
wife.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
now I
means-
gotta put that in the
trade
repertoire.
wives. Not like trade wives. That's a different subgenre on the orange and black screen.
She so there's this woman who's has gone viral on TikTok, and it's hashtag trad wife. So she's like she's always dressed immaculately, but like making cereal from scratch or making Oreo cookies from scratch, and she's pregnant. Her hair is in place, like fucking around with flour, and there's nothing on her like black dress. Like and she has
Yeah.
very like solemn. It's wild to see, but she is literally like she's gone viral. So there's a it's a whole new genre of like TikToks about this.
She's
this
Cleaver.
lifestyle.
What's the Cleaver mom name? Beaver's mom. What was her name?
June Cleaver.
June Cleaver. It was June
Yeah.
Cleaver.
No,
yeah.
those references were happening all day today. Cats were just like, okay, so this woman is giving all this craziness. So Republicans were like, everyone is fucking losing it. Some people, the writers for Rolling Stone were like, I started getting text messages, not even like 10 minutes, 5 minutes into her speech. Cats were like, yo, what is this? Somebody called it creepy.
It was creepy.
And also Bobby Jindal and Marco Rubio were trending because she beat them for the worst response ever.
I hate Bobby Jindal so much. I
Oh
see
my
him on the
God.
street.
He's
Oh my God, I hate him. Ooh.
And then as I'm listening to, because that part I did hear live, she describes a woman she met at the border who describes this horrific sexual assault that happened to her. I think she said rape maybe 5 times in a row. Like each time she hit, I was like, my body like just, I was like, what the fuck? And the way she was describing it with such detail, I was like, where's this going?
Yeah.
Okay. And then a lot more than one person noted. So let's say that woman you met had gotten pregnant. Well, if she's in a red
Right.
state, she can't
When you
get
said
a
where's this
goddamn-
going, I was like, not to an abortion clinic in Texas.
Thank you.
Absolutely
That's where it's not going.
Nope.
Yeah. So Karen said
Wait,
Trey
she's
White-
from Alabama?
Yeah, she's a senator from Alabama. Her and
Where
Tommy
the fuck
Tuberville.
does, and I don't know anything about these things. Where does Alabama touch the border? Where did she meet this person?
She went to Rio. She went to a border town after she actually not even when she was senator. This is like several years ago before she was senator.
When they all went down there on that trip together to look at the cages or whatever.
Before that, she said it was like 10 years ago, 12. I don't know what era it was, but like
I suspect she was lying.
I mean, it could. That's the funny thing with these stories, these anecdotes, and these stories. They could be made up. They can find, it could be payola or whatever. But I want y'all to remember those kids that were separated from their families. 2,000 of them still have not been reunited with their
families. Some of them
families.
are still separated from their
Oh,
families.
I thought it was
2,000.
down. I thought they had gotten the number down. I thought it was down to. I forgot what number I heard. I didn't hear it was 2,000. I heard a little bit less than that. But
yeah, I just heard it on NPR last week. And there's I'm gonna get his name because y'all know me in these fucking podcasts. I'm always driving. I can't write the shit down. I'm gonna have to start taking a voice note or something. But there's a gentleman who has made it his life's work to reunite these families, and the things he has to do in order to achieve it. And the crazy part is sometimes when he reunites them, the break has been for so long. Emotions are running high. One kid, he's 14 now, when he was disconnected from his dad because his dad came here, he was distraught. He thought he would never see his father again. And he said, I'm not letting you go I'm going with you. So finally the father took him with him. They got separated and he was a small child and now he's 14 and he holds this resentment against his dad, even though he knows his dad didn't separate them on purpose. And they have to rebuild their whole relationship because He don't even look the same. This nigga is 5 inches taller now. He's a different person. His father didn't even recognize him when he saw him at first.
What is that?
And he's basically been in jail all of his life.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
think about babies who are separated, 2-year-olds, 3 toddlers, right? Like,
Yep.
it was on purpose. It was
On purpose.
deliberate.
On
So
and with purpose.
again, all these things that happened while that man was in office, and so when these motherfucking GOPers were like, "Yo, aren't things better? Weren't you things better 3 years ago, 4 years ago?" No, you fucking lying crazy asshole. Absolutely not. And all the hurt and drama and evil, and y'all are too many of y'all are ready to let that man back in office. That is terrifying. I'm not even talking about the people who got issues with like Gaza. I'm talking about cats who are like, I'm riding hard for Trump. Like, that's the guy.
I got into an argument, a 2-day argument recently in writing with.
Not 2 days.
Yeah. I got time. I'm on the bus. I got like 2 or 3 coloreds actually coming at me
I can't.
in defense of Candace Owens and like all of these other coons. Like they were like, they were mad at me because, oh, you don't like free thinking black people, huh? If we don't think like you. I'm like, oh, you're yelling at me because I don't agree with you about loving Candace Owens. Well, they've achieved more than you ever have in your life. I was like,
the fuck does that have to do with anything?
like,
Hitler achieved a lot in his life too. How about that? We supposed to emulate him?
Almost took over the world, that guy.
Yes.
Motherfucker was impressed. And those uniforms, those German uniforms.
Oh, wait. Do you know who designed those uniforms?
Hugo Boss.
Hugo Boss. I just had a conversation about it today because one thing I will say to you, and I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but what they represent is disgusting. But aesthetically, whoever did all that graphic design and shit, it was on point. Just saying.
Just saying. No,
even the swastika originally, it was like a Sanskrit symbol, I think.
The only reason I bring that up is because when you mentioned that there are a lot of people on our side, and while I do have these issues that I've been crying about since October 9th, there are people on our side that we laugh sometimes about how critical thinking is missing. And I'm like, I might be mad, and I might not like what this motherfucker's doing. I might hate it, but I'm not a fool. You guys are up here like literally. Because all I said that made these guys mad at me, there was a picture, it was like a meme with a bunch of these black, like Clarence Thomas and Homeboy with the cowboy hat and Candace. And all I wrote was like, may they forever enjoy their lifetime vacation in Cancun, because these Negroes show Cancun. And they were mad at me. I'm like, my man, I just made a joke. You're spending days mad at me because I don't agree with you, telling me because I don't like free thinkers. Let me think freely. I say fuck a coon and anybody that rides with him. How's that? That's me free thinking. Let me do that then. Can I do that? Because you're voting. I mean, you're voting for Donald J. Trump?
So,
nigga, if you don't get entirely the fuck. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, and there's kind of almost 2 lanes, right? There are those who legitimately don't know. They, again, just commentary on MSNBC. Someone asked, there are the people who are like, well, we lost Roe under Biden. He's the one who put those justices in. No, that's not how this works, right? So those people, if you actually stop and explain to them like the real, you might get through. But
you probably won't.
Because the reason why I say this, I take for granted and what I understand and know about this country and how it runs. Most people are not paying attention.
They're not.
A huge majority of people. No, they're literally.
But they don't care. But Crescent, they don't care. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. I sat here for the past 2 weeks, and I with my heart on my sleeve, I said, I have a problem with the candidate that I have to vote for, and I laid out what those issues are. I'm still critical of the people I like. You're not just gonna keep getting my black ass vote every time without me reading you for filth when you do shit I don't like. But I'm still gonna vote for you. The difference is these other people, they decide who they like, and then they adjust policy in order to make that person likable or palatable for themselves. So it doesn't matter what you tell them.
Antoine,
they have decided that they like this candidate. It don't matter what they do. And
Antoine,
that's disgusting.
You're an intellectual, Antoine. You're very, 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 very intelligent. As is Jason. most of the people watching us right now are very intelligent and care.
Oh.
They care. Y'all care.
Right.
Y'all want to be informed. I'm talking about just your average motherfucker who go to work, come home. Like that.
Well, that's what we're agreeing. We're agreeing. That's what I'm saying. The average person who's not well read, they pick somebody who on the surface speaks to their sensibilities. And when you start breaking down you start sharing with that person, this person you like is not infallible. He did A, B, and C. The average person is not going to do a 180 because they've already decided they like the person. And that to me is dangerous.
Because there's another woman, they said, they were like, so who do you think supports abortion and who doesn't? She was like, well, if I had to guess, I would say, I think the Dems.
Bitch, you don't have to guess.
No.
You don't have to guess. It's written down. What the fuck are you guessing about?
Can I finish? Sorry. She goes, if I had to guess, I think the Democrats don't support abortion, and I think Republicans do. Where the fuck she got that shit from? Don't motherfucking know. But here's my thing. That person, hey, you have a calm conversation with them. Like, well, if I could just tell you and show you the reality, that person actually might, because they're clearly not paying attention. They're just not.
But you know
they
why they're not paying attention, Crescent? Because they have their guy. There's nothing to pay attention to.
I don't even know this because they have their guy.
Their perspective. Oh, they have.
They may not vote. They may not vote. These are people I'm like, who are just literally just like.
But those people are a minority. You would agree, though, Crescent. Most people know who they like at this point, if they like Biden or Trump.
It's funny because they were asking college kids, like, did y'all watch State of the Union? No. Some of them, like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Was that shit on? And granted, those are the youngers, right? The youngers traditionally kind of don't pay attention to certain things.
I thought that was the big thing, is that they do pay attention now. I'm lost.
But that's what I'm saying.
Pay attention to what comes up in their timeline, and they can be somewhat involved in that, but a lot of times they'll even avoid that. So the wife teaches high school. These black kids are dead up, super Kanye loving. I would vote for Trump if I can't vote, and they're about to be voters. Some of them. I mean, this is 11th, 12th grade, and what they love about the Trump is that he is very, very rich, and he says what's on his mind, and these are all things that are not true.
No,
he lies what's not on his mind. He's not rich. He's never been rich. He's never had it's like, I don't want to say cognitive dissonance because it feels like that's so overused and overwrought. But what they like about him is what they feel he represents. They don't care about issues. They don't know about issues. So it's got to be some other way we pry them off of this bullshit. And I don't know what that is.
I gotta go to work in 10 minutes, y'all.
I'm like, okay, moving on, because I have lots of thoughts about who pays attention, who doesn't. People who live on the fringe, who literally are just trying to get by. So, but anyway, so Viktor Orban. So Trump and him met up today. He won power first through a democratic election.
Tony's right about something. Sorry.
Then he proceeded to weaken the institutions of that democracy by eroding the legal system. He fired civil servants. He politicized businesses. He attacked the press. He intimidated opposition parties, and he demagogued migration.
It's a peek into the future is what Crescent is getting at. It's your future's right in front of you. You're looking through the looking glass, the crystal ball.
Much. That's what I was saying was terrifying.
He's on that white Christian nationalism bullshit. And of course, he's hostile to LGBTQ rights, right? So Trump sees Orban as the kind of strong man, unencumbered by legal and political restraints that
I didn't mean.
Also, Orban also kisses Putin's ass as well. So that's
scary.
The other thing that happened today is Trump had to post nearly $92 million bond in the E. Jean Carroll defamation case. Right. And so he filed a notice of appeal for judgment. So he either paying the judgment or posting a bond for the judgment's full amount was required for him to move forward with the appeal. So honestly, details of it don't motherfucking matter. He had to come out of $92 fucking million. Who gave it to him? I mean, he got
I was just about to say, you know what's scary is what does he now have to do for the motherfuckers that gave him that money? Because he didn't have it. And Tony, you are right about a lot of things, even if we don't agree about them, motherfucker. I'm watching you.
So he's So that's the 90. That's
I like
and
him.
it was like 110% the bond. So that's why it was $83.3 million
Right.
judgment, but it has to be $92 million bond. But he also still got to come up with that 400 mil. So he about to get another infusion from somebody. Who the fuck is that coming from? And right, and what does he owe them? What is he gonna owe them in return?
They so
Right.
casually in the article, they were like, "Oh, and pretty soon, he's gonna have to come up with another." And I was just like, "Another nigga? It's 5 times the amount of this one."
Yeah, they didn't mention how much more it was than this.
They said it
guess
so trivially. I'm like, this is way more than the 92.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe he borrowed it from his son-in-law because the Arabs gave him some money. Maybe he's like, hey, so listen here.
Oh no, they said who it was. It was a play. It was a Chubb. It was
It's an insurance company. Chubb underwrote. They underwrote the bond for Trump, but there's another element of it that's not entirely clear.
clear.
So,
Okay.
Right,
yeah.
because they had to have. Here's the thing: Chubb underwrote it because that's what bonds and insurance people do. But they know they're not fools. They wouldn't just do that blindly. They know that he doesn't have it or anything near it in value. So somebody underwrote it in real life in some kind of cash or some kind of benefit that they knew that they could really get their hands on, and they took that and then knowing
Yeah.
damn well the tramp can't do it. He doesn't have anything.
Right.
He
So
has
Okay.
property,
sorry.
but he owes money on all of it. So I've had friends of mine put their house up for bail and then got taken back because their house was about to be taken any damn way. Like, oh, your house ain't worth. You got to come back in. That happened twice to the same dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I meant to say this: the $92 million bonding post is meant to secure that damage award in the event his appeal fails. Right. So he will get the money back if he wins his appeal, which he's not. So
Right.
right. So whoever underwrote exactly what you were saying, Jason, whoever underwrote it, that's who's actually taking like the real hit.
And they're willing to just give it up. It's like when you loan your broke ass friend some money and you know you're not getting it back. Hey, can I borrow 5? I'm like, nah, nigga, because I would need 5. You can borrow 1.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. So to
So
your
it's kind
point,
of like him having to pay that, like when you get a ticket and they're like, yeah, you can fight the ticket, but you have to pay it first and then you can fight it. And that's where he's at. You're like, yeah,
EG
give us the money that the parking ticket's worth, and then you can come in and fight it and then see if you get it back. But go on and hand us that money.
Jean Carroll suggested that she would have quickly begun seizing Trump assets if he had not secured that judgment by the deadline. She said this saved her attorney the trouble showing up with the U.S. Marshals on Monday. So she ain't playing.
Jean is the white Letitia.
I love her so much. Also, this is just, I'm just now finally getting back to chat. So Ernest said, look, less than half the country votes. Callum said there's 17.9 million registered voters in Texas. Only 1.8 million voted on Super Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I could go on about that part because I'm home now and I am aware. I'm like, you could ask somebody who the fuck is president right now, and they might not actually be able to tell you the real motherfucking answer. So this is what I'm saying. That part. Moving on,
Well,
so we
but
can
the
so
tramp says
Antoine
it's
can get to work.
Obama.
What'd you say?
The tramp says it's Obama.
Okay, so case in point, but some people out here, okay, fucking voting for this motherfucker. So, okay, sorry. Moving on, and because we can get Antoine up out of here, and I can go to bed because it is 11:37 where I'm at. Oscars are this Sunday, so we'll have lighter commentary on fucking Monday. Jimmy Kimmel's hosting. They're on earlier than usual, 7 p.m. East Coast, 4 p.m. West Coast. Oppenheimer has the most nominations at 13. We mentioned this before, but Coleman Domingo is the second openly gay man nominated for playing a gay character. And he's the first Afro-Latino man nominated for Best Actor.
Is that for Bayard?
Yes, for Rustin.
Yeah,
for Rustin.
Yeah.
Rustin, sorry.
Yeah. And then following the Oscars, there's going to be a new episode of Abbott Elementary. So that's exciting.
I gotta start watching that again. I really enjoyed it when I started watching.
And the season is fun already. Like the new season.
All right. Look, you don't have to sell me on this.
Okay,
You convinced me to watch it in the first place. Y'all, I'm aware I lost the light. One of my lights died. So I look like I look like the spook that sat by the door.
I've never seen Abbott Elementary.
Oh, it's excellent. And I'm gonna tell you,
Jason, you'll like it.
I saw a promo of my girl, the principal, she had like a Nicki Minaj weave, and she is my spirit animal on the show.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
So wait, Antoine, so you haven't seen any of the episodes from the new season?
Oh, I didn't finish the first season.
Oh, no.
I've seen about 7 episodes of Abbott Elementary.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to finish first season, and then I definitely need you to watch the first episode of the new season just for your girl. For your girl.
This is season 3 that it's in, right?
Is it season 3? I thought it was season 2. I don't know.
No, it's had 2 seasons already.
It's in like three seasons.
It's 3. It's in 3 now. Yeah, it's in 3. Yeah.
She watches it, Callum. She watches it. I haven't seen it, and she says it's incredible. I just haven't seen it.
It's a really well cast ensemble, and for it to be the setting, I would think, oh, this would get old really quickly. No, the last episode I watched was better than the first one that I watched, so it got increasingly better over time, and it was already good to start with. It's just the characters are amazing.
That's why I need you to catch up, Antoine, because
I will.
It's so much. Yeah, and Jason, you need to dig in. Okay,
jump in. For sure.
Please jump in. All right. Thank you guys. We're gonna wrap
Thank
up.
you,
We'll be back
everybody.
Monday night. Talk about Oscars. That okay.
Have a good weekend.
Like, subscribe.
See you on Monday, Tony. I'm a fan.
It's gonna be thanks, Caleb. It's gonna be litty on Monday because we got SNL and the Oscars to discuss. So.
Facts.
Oh, Lord.
All right, I'm hitting the end broadcast.